I feel like I'm losing my mind.
While all eyes are glued to the spotlight, no one realizes that behind that smile is a man struggling against an invisible control. Taehyung isn't just an idol, he's a human being yearning for freedom. But does that freedom truly exist? In the glamorous and spotlight-filled world of K-pop, Kimtaehyung, better known as V of BTS, is always at the center of attention. He's more than just a member of the world's biggest boy group. He's a symbol of charm, sincerity, and artistic expression that captivates the hearts of millions. With his distinctive baritone voice and undeniable charisma, Taehyung captivates the world, both on and off the stage. However, behind his dazzling charisma and the warm smile he shares with fans lies a far more complex story. A truth that has long been neatly hidden by the glitz and glamour of the entertainment industry has only recently begun to emerge. This narrative isn't about the success you're used to, but rather about the gradual squeezing away of freedom, about how an artist is constrained by the very system that supposedly supports them. HYBE, the giant agency behind BTS's success, has long been considered a protective home that facilitates its members' career journeys. But as more information emerges, it becomes increasingly apparent that HYBE is more than just management, but rather an entity that wields complete control over even the private aspects of Taehyung's life. From the outside, the public sees Taehyung as a figure who freely expresses himself, full of creativity and unbound by limitations. However, it turns out that many of the words he speaks in interviews and many of the posts he shares with ARMY don't come entirely from the heart. They are structured, tailored, or even controlled by the agency. This isn't just an issue about artist management. It's an issue about humanity, about freedom of speech, and the fundamental right to be yourself. Taehyung is known as the most sensitive, honest, and openly emotional member. However, recent information has revealed that many of his personal decisions are made without his full consent. From his social relationships to his clothing style to the music he creates, everything is under the strict supervision of management. Fans might assume that Taehyung always presents himself as a choice. But in reality, in an entertainment industry as large as this, personal choice can be just an illusion, calculated by business strategy. It's ironic. BTS has long been known as a symbol of struggle, freedom, and the courage to be yourself. But behind that image, Taehyung, one of the most striking members individually, is actually experiencing pressures and limitations unknown to the public. Is this the price of global fame? Does becoming a superstar mean losing control of one's personal life? The ARMY, who have long loved BTS for their sincerity, are now beginning to see the other side of the system they've trusted. They're beginning to realize that many things that appear natural and spontaneous on screen may actually be the result of a long, tightly orchestrated process by their agency. We're not talking about small scenarios. We're talking about orchestrating someone's life narrative, about shaping an artist's image to fit a global marketing strategy. And sadly, Taehyung is a prime example of this practice. What makes this even more painful is the fact that Taehyung continues to smile, continues to show affection for his fans, continues to perform with love and energy, even though, in doing so, he has to sacrifice his personal space, his freedom, and perhaps even a part of himself. Taehyung has become a symbol, not only a symbol of K-pop success, but also a symbol of how the industry can swallow people up. However, his courage to speak out, albeit slowly, subtly, and through small signs, must be commended. With the various codes he inserts into his work and statements, Taehyung tries to convey that not everything can be expressed with words. Sometimes, even silence is a form of resistance. What Taehyung experienced is not an isolated case. Many artists in the Korean entertainment industry and in other countries have experienced similar experiences. But because Taehyung's name is so big, his impact is extraordinary. He has opened the eyes of many. He has made us realize that behind the smiles and the spotlight, there is a soul struggling to be heard. As fans, as the public, as empathetic human beings, we need to re-examine what we consider normal in the entertainment world. However, what's even more heartbreaking is when fans begin to realize that what they once thought was pure has actually been filtered, shaped, and even polished by management. It's not that Taehyung's love for ARMY is fake, not at all. But the way he expresses those feelings sometimes doesn't carry the full freedom an artist should have. So, how does Taehyung respond to all this? Does he remain silent? Give up? No. He chooses a more subtle but meaningful path. He expresses his feelings through art, whether it's through writing songs, designing visual concepts, or even choosing to remain silent when everyone demands an explanation. Many fans have noticed that in some of his posts, Taehyung has begun to leave behind unusual emotional codes. Words like, "I just want to be myself," or sometimes, "I want to be quiet in a place where no one knows me," appear on numerous occasions. These aren't ordinary complaints. These are the voices of an inner voice slowly breaking free from the grip of the system. And this is what sets him apart from many other artists. Taehyung doesn't choose the path of confrontation. He doesn't reveal everything in a single statement. He knows that in a system this big, honesty can't always come in the form of a shout. Sometimes it comes as a whisper, as a code. And even though he's at the top, Taehyung realizes one important thing, that no amount of fame can replace inner peace and control over one's own life. Some might say, that's the price of being famous. But does it really have to be that way? Does achieving success in the eyes of the world require one to forfeit basic human rights? Should personal expression be replaced by a script? Should smiles be corrected before being shown to the public? The answer is, of course, no. And Taehyung is beginning to realize that he can't be locked in this gilded cage forever. Recently, rumors have surfaced that Taehyung is considering projects outside the agency, even pursuing a freer artistic expression. He wants to explore a side of himself the world hasn't yet seen, not as V from BTS, but as Kim Taehyung, a man who loves art, serenity, and honesty. However, this process isn't easy. HYBE, as a major agency, certainly won't let an icon as big as Taehyung walk freely. Every step he takes will be monitored. Every word he utters will be analyzed. Even his every smile could have a hidden agenda. And herein lies the tragedy. We're talking about a major artist with millions of followers and global influence, yet lacking complete control over his own life. In such an open world, Taehyung is locked within invisible boundaries. As fans, we often don't realize how burdensome our expectations can be. We want them to be happy, to perform perfectly, to always be cheerful, to never tire, to never make mistakes. But is that fair? We forget that they are human, that behind the magnificent concert stage, there's a tired body. Behind a camera lens, there's a broken heart. And behind that beautiful voice, there's a depressed mind. Now, as Taehyung begins to hint at the harsh reality he's experiencing, this isn't just about him. It's about how the entire entertainment system must begin to change. How companies must start to see artists as people, not just products. And for fans, this is an important moment to reflect on the love we give. Does love come with conditions? Or do we love them completely, even when they want to take back their own lives? Because if we truly love Taehyung, then we must support him in being himself, even if that means stepping out of the comfort zone that has made him shine.